So, New Jersey Governor Mikie Sherrill was attempting to visit an ICE detention center in her own state of New Jersey, and she was denied access. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that wouldn't fly with me, man. Like, I'm immediately calling up the National Guard or the state police, anyone I can find like that I trust within either the state police or the National Guard. I'm taking them with me and we are going to that detention center. And I promise you, we are getting in one way or another. We've learned time and time again that Trump, he only responds to power. And any other gesture like LARPing to the media about how this is unacceptable or going into a court battle, this makes you look weak, and he will take advantage of that weakness and he will crack down even harder. Now, I want to go ahead and get to the story and then we can talk about it a little bit more. So, New Jersey Governor Sherrill denied access to North Jersey Immigration Detention Center as hunger strike enters the fourth day. So, because of the conditions of this detention center, it doesn't feel right calling it that. It seems a bit more than that at this point, but hey. Anyways, the conditions are so terrible there that the detainees are going on hunger strikes. Anyways, New Jersey Governor Mikie Sherrill visited a private immigration detention center in North Jersey Monday, where a hunger and labor strike began before the weekend. The government was joined by U.S. Senator Andy Kim and other members of the state's congressional delegation, including U.S. Reps Rob Menendez and Analia Mejia. And here's a tweet from Senator Andy Kim. I'm back at Delaney Hall. This is the detention center that's in reference here with at Governor Sherrill and other members of the New Jersey delegation to meet with families of detainees and listen to community advocates. We're working together to make sure they're heard and to speak out with them. Delaney Hall must shut down immediately. And then I believe that's all. There's a couple of pictures here. Here's the governor and other members of her, little congregation. And like, they're not allowed in. They were just flat out denied access. And I assume that this is like pretty much every ICE facility, a facility where a bunch of people who didn't do anything wrong, weren't criminals, probably weren't even here illegally, are being detained indefinitely or maybe slated to be deported back to their home country, or even worse, a third country like South Sudan, Eswatini, or some country that they've never been to where crime is wild, human trafficking is wild, and you're essentially like human trafficking these people to these countries that they've never even been to. Anyways, while addressing a protester upset that Sherrill had not reported to the facility sooner, the governor said she was not allowed access. People have been asking for you, the unidentified protester said to the governor. They started their strike on Friday, and the first thing they said is, we want to talk to Governor Sherrill, and it took you 4 days to be here. Damn, I mean, all right, fair. Sherrill explained that her office has been working with federal immigration officials to gain entry to the facility. She committed to continuing to attempt to gain access. Again, this falls back to if I'm the governor of a state and you have a concentration camp on my soil, we're going to be inspecting that. We will be going in there. All right. Like it's no ifs, ands, buts. We're not asking, we're demanding, and we are going in, and you can try to step in our way if you so please. But one way or another, we are going into this facility because there are atrocities being committed here. After her visit, Sherrill said in a statement that her request to access the facility was formally denied earlier in the day, raising serious questions about what they are trying to hide from public view. She added that she visited the site to hear from advocates and families of those detained. Immigration advocates have called on the governor to use every tool the state has to shut the facility down. Delaney Hall is a modern-day concentration camp operating right here in our own backyards, said Nidia Morzi, director of Make the Road New Jersey, in a statement. It's flat out un-American, and we cannot, in good conscience, ignore the human rights violations described by the hundreds of people inside. According to Resistencia en Acción, At New Jersey, about 300 detainees at the detention center launched a hunger strike Friday. Since then, protesters have gathered outside to monitor the facility and show support for those inside. Yeah, like, what happened to states' rights, by the way? I thought that was supposed to be like a big Republican thing. Like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want in my state, and the federal government, the big government, can keep their hands off. But not only do we have a situation where the governor of a state can't seem to have the power to say, hey, we don't need federal law enforcement here abducting our people. She can't even visit the detention facility that is within her state to investigate or inspect it or anything like that. I'm telling you, man, Democrats need to start playing hardball and fighting power with power, because this whole process-oriented approach isn't going to work. It hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked since, like, what? Definitely pre-2016. And most people they're going to give you a pass if you are going to be wielding power to fight fascists, all right? Like, when you're standing up to fascist freaks like we're supposed to be doing right now, people will give you a pass. So again, you should listen to the protesters, the advocates, saying that you should use every tool in your power to shut this facility down. At the very least, gain access to it. Again, National Guard, state police, call whoever you can trust, and you get your way in there. All right? I promise you, it will be better than just turning around and taking it, because at that point, you're just saying, hey, Trump, why don't you do even more enforcement here, because we are weak. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.